Every video about this iPad for the past 8 years has been titled the same way: the great, the amazing, the best. We were led to believe that this iPad right now is just as good as it was when it came out. So I decided to put that to the test. I got one and used it as my personal iPad, did everything on it, and now I know the truth. In this video I'm gonna tell you exactly how this iPad performs right now and what you can expect if you end up buying it. When this iPad came out, it was the pinnacle of iPad evolution. It introduced a whole new design that is still around today. This iPad is almost 8 years old and it's practically indistinguishable from the latest and greatest. Same flat bezels, same thin, even borders, same speaker arrangement. If you handed both iPads to your parents or to someone who's not very tech savvy, they would not notice a single difference. So why pay more? It is very natural to question the longevity of iPads. iPads aren't iPhones. We don't need to replace them every single year, or even every 2 years. Heck, even every 5 years might not be necessary. You buy one, use it till it's dead, and then buy a new one. Because let's be frank, everyone does pretty much the same things on their iPads. Watching videos and movies, listening to music, reading, web browsing, playing games, and so on. But as the years go by, even though the things we do on iPads don't really change, the world around us does. For example, just 5 years ago, iPads were nothing but glorified Netflix machines. But now we have a dedicated Instagram app, so everyone can watch reels on their iPads. Maybe you're even like me and use Apple Pencil to scroll through them. Anyway, phones, laptops, and even watches become more and more powerful every year, and it feels like developers have given up on optimizing things. New versions of iOS come out buggy and lag even on the latest iPhones. Features promised years ago are still nowhere to be found, and every app update puts more and more strain on the device. So for me with this iPad, the main question was the performance and how well it could fit into my use cases. As you know, my main iPad is the 2021 iPad mini. I recently made a video about it, be sure to check it out. That iPad mini I have runs on the A15, the same chip found in the iPhone 13, but this iPad has the A12X, a chip from the iPhone XS, and that iPhone hasn't just been discontinued. It's no longer supported by the latest versions of iOS. This iPad, on the other hand, supports almost all the features of iPadOS 26, and I'll definitely talk about that update a bit later. Thanks to all of you, my channel's been slowly growing, and recently, as I've been getting more emails about brand deals, I realized something pretty quickly. Finding the right sponsors is actually harder than it looks. I surely can Google companies manually, scroll LinkedIn, check websites, but I still don't know who actually handles partnerships or who's open to working with creators. That's why I want to show you a tool I recently started using that genuinely surprised me. It's called Lassie AI, and it's designed to help you find the right people to talk to, whether that's brands, decision makers, influencers, or potential partners. Instead of manually researching companies and guessing who handles partnerships or marketing, I can just describe exactly what I'm looking for in plain language. Here you can see the prompt I've been using. Feel free to copy it and use it. What makes Lassie AI interesting is that it doesn't just show me random company names. I get actual people with roles, profiles, and contacts, so I'm not sending emails into the void. I can review each profile, filter results, and quickly see which contacts make the most sense to reach out to first. Once everything's organized, I can export the spreadsheet or even write outreach emails directly inside the platform. The same process works for pretty much anything. Finding clients, collaborators, influencers, or even hiring. It's basically a faster way to connect with the right people without wasting hours researching manually. I'll leave a link below so you can check it out and see how you would use it. Year after year, more and more features were added to the iPad, and it's honestly such a stroke of luck that this iPad from the start had so much headroom. Back in 2018, all iPhones still used Lightning, and they kept it that way all the way till 2023. No iPads besides the iPad Pro had Face ID. That fact hasn't really changed, but still. This was also the second generation of iPads with promotion displays, features iPhone would not get for 2 more years. It had more RAM and more power to such an extent that the follow-up iPad used almost the same chip, the A12Z. The only noticeable addition was LiDAR on the back, a feature no one really needs or uses. So in day-to-day use, it doesn't feel off in any way. You pick it up, and it's just a modern iPad. It looks modern, feels modern, and performs like a modern one. This unit I have runs iPadOS 18 and everything works pretty smoothly. Scrolling, apps, updates, there are practically no hiccups or irregularities. But from time to time, I do feel like I'm pushing the iPad a bit too hard, especially when I try to use a couple apps at the same time. Even though everything on the screen stays fluid and smooth, I keep glancing at the battery percentage and see it drop in real time. And it's not because the battery has degraded. After all these years, it still has most of its health. Because like I said in my previous iPad video, for iPads, Apple uses a different type of battery with slightly different chemistry, so it doesn't age the same way as the iPhone battery does. And for day-to-day use, I haven't really noticed any changes in my charging patterns. I used to charge my iPad mini every couple of days, and I'm doing the same with this iPad. Every day I use it to watch videos while cooking, watching videos while eating, maybe some reading, scribbling some notes, and most definitely watching a ton of reels while contemplating on the white throne. I also really like taking it to the shower, all because of these 4 stereo speakers. And even though the iPad mini can do stereo sound, it's nowhere near as loud as this iPad, and the quality here is genuinely good. Loud, crisp, with lots of detail. You really can't tell it's an old iPad. And for me, I think the size is probably the most unusual thing. After years of using the mini, I've gotten so used to its small pocketable form factor. This iPad you cannot take anywhere without a backpack or a tote bag. It's just too big to fit into any pocket. Now you might say, well, you can use it to replace your laptop. And to that, the only thing I can say is, have you actually tried it yourself? Sure, I can connect a wireless keyboard and mouse or a magic trackpad and it will work. I'll get a cursor and a special pointer. But even with all the advancements in iPadOS over the past few years, it simply can't replace a Mac for me. Maybe only for certain things like typing or researching, but it cannot do video editing the way I need it to. The file system isn't as convenient or as fast as it is on a Mac, and right now it's just too much of a hassle for me to use the iPad instead of the Mac. And yeah, you can buy a Bluetooth keyboard for it very cheaply these days. And for casual things like making presentations or typing up lectures, it will be more than fine. But don't expect it to be a proper workhorse. Regardless of what Apple says, it wasn't made for that. Is that because it lacks power? No, it's still a very powerful iPad, even now. All the games you might want to install on it will work. Maybe not on the highest settings, but they will run. Aside maybe from a few titles that require the latest chips, all your regular apps will work just fine. Sometimes though, they might crash, take a little longer to load than you would like, or get offloaded from memory once you lock the iPad for a few hours. This thing only has 4 GB of RAM, my iPhone has double that, and the newest iPhones have triple that. So when it comes to lags and slowdowns on this iPad, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And I'm so sorry to disappoint so many of you, but that when might be much closer than you think. iPadOS 18 already kinda pushes the internals of this iPad to their limit, and iPadOS 26 is even more power hungry and even less optimized. Even on my iPhone 15 Pro, which should be more than powerful for all the features, animations sometimes lag and apps go unresponsive. So if you decide to update this iPad, don't be surprised when it starts lagging or overheating. Installing the latest OS has always been a gamble, and this year we might have lost the battle. If you end up getting this iPad, keep it on iPadOS 18, don't update it. If you can find one on iPadOS 17, that would be even better. And all these minor inconveniences this iPad brings didn't really bother me while using it, because I knew I could rely on it. If I needed to transfer files from an external drive, I could plug it directly into the iPad, because it has USB-C. If I needed to charge my iPhone while I was away and I only had my iPad on me, I could plug the phone directly into it. If I wanted to watch a movie on the big screen, I could connect the iPad to that as well. If I wanted to play games with the controller, I could do that too. And it was especially helpful on days when I didn't have my Switch with me. By the way, I have a great video about the Switch too, click here to check it out. And let me point out one more thing about this iPad that I absolutely love: Face ID. I was kinda late to the Face ID party. My first Face ID experience was in 2020 when I bought a used iPhone X from my mom, and this iPad had Face ID 2 years before that. Even now on my main iPad mini there is only Touch ID, which is convenient and reliable, but not as effortless as Face ID on this iPad. It's just such a refreshing feeling for me to just pick up my iPad and have it already unlocked. No need to put my finger on a button, no need to wiggle it around in case it doesn't work. Just look at the camera and it's unlocked. For me, that still feels fresh. And if you've never used an iPad with Face ID, or if all the iPads you've used were older ones, this will feel like a night and day difference, because that's exactly what it is. And remember when I said that the only major difference the newer iPad had over this one was the LiDAR sensor on the back? Well, that LiDAR was supposed to help with focusing in low light, but only a madman would use an iPad as a camera. I am that madman, and with my iPad mini, I did shoot a couple videos on this channel. But mini is small and pocketable. I can take it anywhere. This iPad is huge, and filming with it makes me look like a complete idiot. And let's be honest, how many times have you opened the camera on the iPad for anything more than scanning documents? This is a stay-at-home device. You don't really take it or carry it anywhere else. And probably the main reason you're watching this video is because you saw one of these pop up on Marketplace for a few $100s, and it just so happens that you're in need of a new iPad. And despite me really wanting to tell you that you should definitely buy this iPad when you get a chance, I cannot do that to you. If you already have one, you can use it for another half a year, maybe even a year. But after that, it will be the time to pawn it. Its time has almost come. And if you can spare a few more bucks, you can pick up a much better iPad Pro. I would advise you to aim for at least the M1 model. It's also a few years old, but it has a chip that's still very powerful and supports all the new Apple Intelligence features. And the latest version of iPadOS will run flawlessly on it, and it will not experience any hiccups or slowdowns for years to come. I would even go as far as saying that the M1 iPad Pro is the 2018 iPad Pro all over again. Powerful, modern, future-proof. And the price difference isn't that huge, especially when you're looking at used ones. And I think you will see this iPad a few more times in my videos. I've got a couple ideas in mind, like trying to replace my MacBook with it. So hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you wanna see that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.